Alright, I want to show you guys something that I have been doing, that I have been crafting, that's been making me a good amount of divs. Um, it's gonna be these time lapse right here, right? Um, the format is pretty simple. On the prefix, we had the very large radius, and we also have the grand 1% increase maximum mana. This is gonna be your base for any mana stacking build, and then on the suffix, you will have 2 crit and then some kind of combination of a third modifier, right? Cast speed is good. Right here, the recover 1% of mana on kill is pretty good too. But anyway, this is gonna be the format for you, right? On the prefix, we had the mana and the very large radius, and on the suffix, we had the 2 crit and another third modifier. You could go for 3 crits, but I found that 3 crits actually doesn't sell for some reason. Maybe because some people play Mali, right? And when you're playing Mali, you don't really care about crit damage. And this modifier right here, right, the recover 1% maximum mana on kill is actually pretty good. People love that one. Just to show you guys, this one sold for 275. This is probably like a week ago. This one sold for 200, and this one only has 1 crit on it. That's why this one only sold for 100. But then I got more right here. I got this one right here sold for 160, right? And this one sold for 160 as well. This one sold for 150. And I got more, another one for 150. So I probably made like, I had definitely made over 1,000 divine just doing this, and I'll probably spend, I don't know, 300 divines. The price has definitely came down a lot because we're nearing the end of our league, but these are pretty low. You are still able to make a good amount of money doing these. Um, we could take a look at the table for Tamla Sapphire. Um, there are 4 critical modifier you could hit on the suffix. There are the 2 critical hit chance and 2 critical damage. And other than that, damage taken from mana B for life, it's good for some people. Cast speed is always good. Freeze build up, some people like this. Not this one, but recover mana on kill is probably gonna be the best third suffix you could get. Mana regen is okay, but not great. On the prefix, this is gonna be, obviously we want a very large radius, but other than that, this is gonna be the modifier we want to chase, right? The notable passive skills in radius also grant 1% increase maximum mana. This is the modifier we have to chase. But the thing is, this modifier right here only spawn through the desecration. And this is why this craft is still worth a lot of money, right? People are still willing to spend a good amount of currency, like 150 to buy this, because we can. The reason is being that we have to say the desecration for the prefix. We cannot use the desecration to get a third modifier on the suffix. So for the third modifier on the suffix, we simply just have to roll. Now, I do want to mention something real quick, which is for people who have been doing some Jew crafting, they will know that there's a trick. There's kind of like a bug. I'm not sure if it's a bug. I'm gonna say it is a bug, but some people doesn't like that. But basically, the trick is where when you use a contempt, right, you get either +1 suffix or +1 prefix. When you get that, and you get your 3 modifiers, and then you remove the contempt, you're able to chaos span the opposite for however many times you want without touching the 3 modifier that's already on your jewel. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but basically there's a trick where you don't need purple omen, and you could just chaos span the last 2 modifier on either the prefix or suffix when you have finished your 3 modifier on either prefix and suffix. It's a little bit confusing for people who doesn't do this craft, but for people who do jewelry crafting, they know what I'm talking about. But the thing is, on this crap, we are not going to be able to use this because again, the percentages because again, the grand 1% increase max mana, you could only get it due to death equation. You can't cast roll into it. So that's why this crap. That's like probably another reason why this crap is still worth a lot of money. People are still willing to spend 150 dips in it because there's no trick to it. You can't really, abuse the bug to craft this. All right. For base right here, I just have a time loss, and I just buy this. I will not try to fracture yourself because I don't know. These are pretty cheap to buy, and if you try to fracture yourself, you're gonna waste a bunch of shit. Um, I wouldn't try to buy any base that's crit because that's gonna be expensive, and these are pretty trash, right? And these are pretty trash because this is a really low roll. We could try to search for another one. Fracture notable. Crit chance for spell. These are gonna be cheaper, but this is at 3%. We don't want this to trash. That's also corrupted. We don't want that. 7 div already, 3% trash, 4% trash, 4% trash, right? So I will either start with Caspi, and you want to make sure it's at 2%. 7 chaos, 1. I mean, these are corrupted, so don't use so. But 2 these are much cheaper. Or fracture notable recover mana on kill. These are for divs only, so these are gonna be the best base for you to start. So what we need to do, the first step would be simply slam into another suffix, and we want to slam into a crit, right? And there are two ways you could do it. You could either just chaos roll this right now, or you could use a null orb and just use a suffix omen, just keep slamming. The reason for that is because like this is gonna be really up to you. If you check the table again, there are a lot of modifiers in here. So chaos spamming, when you're chaos spamming both prefix and suffix at the same time, it's kind of pain in the ass to do, right? There are 25 on the prefix and there are 35 on the suffix. Chaos spamming this is gonna be really annoying to do because it is going to take forever. When you're using an hour and suffix omen, you're basically cutting the table into half, so it's gonna be higher chance for you to hit, but it's kind of whatever. I do like a combination of both when I'm chaos spamming a few and I don't get it. I just annul and re-exalt, right? I'm gonna do this for a while. Cast speed, don't want that. There you go. We got a crit damage right here. Once we get the 2 on the suffix, one is gonna be your fracture and the other one is gonna be your crit. Simply want to slam in 2 more on the prefix. Now we don't care about this prefix at all because they're gonna get removed. We're gonna use a contempt. Don't want that. We want this to land on prefix so that we could get +1 suffix. So I am simply going to annul. Again. So yeah, you just want to keep doing that. And once you're at this stage where on the suffix we have our fracture and 1 crit, and then on the prefix we have 1 prefix we don't care about and we have +1 suffix. And now we are ready to roll the 3rd suffix, right? Naturally you would think, hey, let's desecrate this because desecration will make it to get the 3rd suffix so much easier, right? But we can't. We have to say the desecration for the prefix. Remember? Because we have to, because the modifier we're chasing for the prefix, the mana one, only spawn in the desecration. So there's really nothing to do except just slam. Bam! Trash. Redo. There you go. So this is why this craft is annoying, it's frustrating because all the tricks that we normally use to make this to make jewelry crafting easier, we cannot use them here. So we just had to simply look into it. So at this point right now, right, I am just going to simply annul. I'm not going to use a chaos orb. It's going to be a fucking mess. So I got rid of my +1 suffix, but I still have my crit, so I'm going to annul again. I got rid of my crit, so I'm simply just gonna restart. Okay, so we're back on crit again. Same thing. Double prefix, contempt, +1 sub, +1 prefix, trash, restart. I am pretty unlucky today. Well, I guess my good luck is now. I need more contempts. These are, again, not that expensive, but they're also not cheap. So, +1 suffix, please. There you go. And again, let's go. Crit, please. There you go. Double crit, +1 the fracture on the suffix. We have +1 suffix modifier on the prefix. Now, like the last part that I just did, where we are getting the 3 suffix, is the only frustrating part. The following part will be expensive, but it's not frustrating at all because we are able to do it pretty consistently. And gonna put all these away because we don't need them. What I basically want to do is I want to grab a prefix annul omen. These are, I'm gonna buy 2 right here, so that's gonna be 24. I highly do not recommend using a chaos because the thing is, because what we're trying to do is that we are trying to get off the +1 suffix, and we need to get a virtual radius. But if you use a chaos like prefix chaos right now, there's a chance for it to roll into small radius, medium radius, right? And that means you will have to roll again. So I would just use a prefix annul. It's clean, it is straightforward, there's no mess. And there you go. We did not get it on the first one, so we just do it again. Bam, there you go. And I just slapped one prefix in there. Right now we're going to use a melon. This is going to remove the prefix. And this is where the trick comes in, right? Because we had 3 suffix and we already removed the +1 suffix on the prefix. This is kind of locked. The suffix is locked down. So anything we do, if we're not using Chaos Orb, will only happen to the prefix. So this is going to 100% remove the prefix right now. There you go. And the next step will be the final step. But this final step is the most expensive step because we are going to use a Persequanian. Oi, Persequanian is actually cheaper nowadays. A few days ago it's at 10 did, but right now it's cheaper. I am going to grab 5, so 45. I'm going to grab 1 more light, 2 more maybe, 2 light. That's going to be 17. There you go. And then we're going to finish off with the desecration. So now we're just chasing the maximum mana on the prefix, right? And this is the last step, but this is the most expensive step because every single Omen Light is 10 dip, every single Persequanian is about 9 dip right now, but basically 10 dips. So every single rotation is gonna be 20 dips. If you could get it on the first try, that's great. If you couldn't get it in the second try, that's still okay. But if you're doing in like the 4 or 5 try where you're spending over 100 dips on your omens and light, that's just gonna be pain in the ass. Like you're not gonna be making a lot of money right now. But yeah, here we go. First one, make sure Abyssal Echo is activated. We are not good. We're gonna have to redo. And now desecrate, recruit. We gotta recruit, but we do not want that. Recruit as mana. So like this is getting really expensive really really quick. If we could get it right here, we will still be good. Okay, fuck. Yeah. So I'm not. I will make like if this one sell, I will make like 50 div on this. But we got it right here. So yeah, we spend 4 queen in, we spend 3 light, that's 50 divs right here. And we spend what? Probably up around another 20 divs in Annul Orb and Chaos Orbs. So we spend about 80 divs on this one right here. I am going to div this a little bit. I want the 10 and 10. Okay, we got it on the first one. Okay. So yeah, we spent about 70 to 80 div making this, and if we are able to sell this for 150, I am probably gonna list this for 200, then I'll just lower the price to like 175, then I lower to 150. We basically make like 60 div on this, but yeah, this is the craft right here. It's not that lucrative anymore. It was really really lucrative. I want to say like a few weeks ago. Like just to show you guys again, a few weeks ago when I was selling this, I was able to sell one for 275. Then I sold another one for 200. And then these past 2 weeks is always hovering around like 160, 150, whatever. But yeah, just want to show you guys real quick. The one that I just crafted in the video has already been sold, and this has been not even 3 hours later, and this one actually sold for 200. So maybe I should actually start pricing these higher, but yeah, just want to show you guys.